Now, Kenya's labour environment is once again under international scrutiny. This is after a global publication accused the government of promoting Kenyan workers as among the cheapest globally. At home, public anger has erupted following a viral video showing a Chinese national assaulting a Kenyan employee. Together, the incidents have reignited debate on dignity, worker protection, and the true value placed on the Kenyan labour market. Otieno John Kennedy has more.
A headline by the New York Times recently alleged that Kenyan labour is being deliberately packaged by the government as one of the cheapest across the globe. In one comparison, Kenyan workers were estimated to cost roughly 40% less than workers from other countries. At the same time, video footage showing a Chinese national striking a Kenyan employee with an iron sheet while colleagues watched spread on social media. The video sparked outrage, with some calling for the deportation of the man involved. The assaulted worker appeared in another video saying he had forgiven his aggressor. Though geographically distant, these incidents point to a common trend: inadequate protections for Kenyan workers, both at home and abroad. State-led pushes for low-cost labor deployment and local workplace abuses both highlight the risks when workers' rights are not fully protected. On paper, Kenya's laws provide safeguards. However, in practice, enforcement is challenging.
More often than not, and I say this appreciating the background that there is a very high unemployment rate in Kenya, you find that employers tend to abuse their employees. And it's even worse where a Kenyan whose rights are guaranteed in the Constitution under Article 41 is then abused by a foreigner in their very own country. That video that was circulating is reflective of where we are as a country, that are people who, despite the guarantees enjoyed in the Constitution, are not bold enough, because once that opportunity goes, it might be very hard to locate yet another one. You find that more often than not, Kenyans are unaware of their rights when they are serving as employees in different institutions. And those ones that do are not willing to pursue that right in fear that they might be victimized by their employers. And once, even when such employments are terminated, they become also fearful that that might, or that once they are aware, or once a potential employer is aware that they have at one point in time sued their employer, they may become shy of hiring them. The other issue is that once someone loses their job, and unfairly so, it becomes very hard to pursue their claim in a lawyer's office, because legal services are prohibitively expensive. You don't, so if instead of paying a lawyer, you'd rather buy unga for your family. So the biggest gap we have is for job creation, that you don't expect for a hungry man to appreciate other things that may be secondary to his survival, such that if people are really struggling to get jobs, and these jobs are what is supposed to keep them alive, they'll do anything to protect that job. So it's an issue of the forces of demand and supply. If our society, and I say this squarely looking at the government, if we don't have enough job opportunities for our people, then it might be very hard for them to come and preach to them about employment rights.
As debate continues over whether the government is doing enough to protect Kenyans at work, this much is certain: a nation that does not sufficiently protect its workforce does not grow stronger. All focus now turns to the government as the country watches how it will respond to assure Kenyan workers, both at home and abroad, of their safety. For TV47, I'm Otieno John Kennedy.